up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So I could have sworn they were supposed to release the Duviri release date yesterday, but they didn't, so here we are with no Duviri release date, and the same situation we were in like 2 days ago, just waiting for information. Some information we do have from some leaks in like November are the Incarnon weapon adapter list and all that. So one of the Incarnon weapons that was really flying under the radar for me is the Latron Prime. After reading how this thing potentially might work, I'm thinking this might be one of the best Incarnons that we have. So we'll be going over all the Latron Incarnon modes today, also rolling a Riven for it, and etc, etc. If you enjoy these types of videos, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already. And also maybe even check out the live stream channel. We do daily Warframe videos on here, and we do almost daily streams on Twitch as well. So go check it out if you want to. Alright, so for the Latron and the Latron Prime, and I guess Latron Wraith technically too, there is going to be an Incarnon unlocker. I've got the Latron Prime because I just find this to be the best stats. And I actually don't even have the Latron Wraith sitting around right now. Before we get into all this, let's look at the comparisons between the Latron Prime and the Latron Wraith. As, you know, maybe you would actually want to try one over the other for whatever reason. Now, for the Latron Prime, the one I'm going to be recommending to you today, we have 22% crit chance, 2.8 crit multiplier, and 26% status chance with mostly puncture. That's good for what we're going to be talking about today because this thing is actually going to have some synergy with puncture procs that should probably just get added to the game as a whole. Everything else is kind of like whatever. Let's move on to the Latron Wraith. So for this one, we got 26% crit chance, 2.8 multiplier, and 14% status with the impact and the puncture not being as, like, it's basically less puncture focused than the Latron Prime. So we go from 26, 2.8 on crit to 22, 2.8. We get like 10 extra status chance on the Latron Prime and better puncture weighting. So I'd say stick with the Latron Prime here. I think the Riven stats are very similar too. And for the Latron Normal, it just got much, much lower base damage and crit stats. So just go with the Latron Prime. We got a lot of puncture damage on here. And let's get into why these that puncture damage might be useful and potentially what you should roll for when you're looking for a Riven for this thing. Now, I just rebuilt it, so it's not formatted out, but I'm going to get around to it soon. So the Latron has this augment mod called Double Tap on hit. 20% bonus damage on the next shot for 2 seconds, stacks up 20 times. So that should be pretty nasty, especially when we go over what it can do. And speaking of what it can do with this Incarnon stuff, let's just get to it right now. I'd probably put a Bane mod in here in the end, and you honestly don't even need to run viral probably, so we'll see. Alright, so as far as these Incarnon options, look at these juicy ones we got here. So for Tier 1, we've got the choice of on Puncture proc, increase multi-shot for Y seconds, stacks up to 3 times. So on Puncture proc, you're getting increased multi-shot, and it stacks up to 3 times. So already, we're seeing some synergy with having Puncture procs on here. So you're going to want to be getting some Puncture procs. And that's why I think the Latron Prime is going to be just better, because it has that really high puncture weighting, versus the Latron Wraith having like kind of like a little bit more balanced weighting. But still not that much slash. Alright, the second option for A, if you were to go for that, I guess, if you think that's not good enough, is with movement speed 1.2 or higher, X% damage increase on enemies. So if you're playing like a fast frame like Wisp or whatever, or Volt, Gauss, whatever, you'll get increased damage. So maybe it will be a high enough damage number that it will be worth it. But yeah, I'm going to probably go with the Puncture procs giving extra multi-shot. No questions asked. On Tier 2, we have 3 choices. Recoil reduction, basically minus recoil. Increased clip size, magazine size, or reduced FOV. I guess that means minus zoom. So none of these really increase your DPS. I'd say probably go for whatever one feels the best to you. This thing has a 15-round magazine, so I guess the magazine size could be okay, but reloading's not that big of a deal. You'll probably be killing everything in like 1 or 2 bullets of this thing anyway with all these buffs. Reminder, it'll probably have an Incarnon alt-fire mode too, so this potentially will be chaining headshots or something after the change. We have recoil reduction if it has bad recoil. I don't think don't worry too much about Tier 2. Just pick whatever one you think's the best to you. And for the heavy hitters on Tier 3, we got number 1 is on hit, strip 10% enemy armor for every stack of Puncture proc. Okay, so here is probably what Puncture proc should do, period. On hit, removes 10% of the enemy's armor for every stack of Puncture. Puncture proc stacked up to 10, so that could be a full armor removal if you get 10 Puncture procs on them, if I'm reading this right. So right there, a a primary that does decent damage that can remove enemy armor potentially in one bullet. You could even maybe make a situation where you're causing puncture procs enemies on purpose and then shooting with the Latron to remove all their armor. Because I'm guessing you don't have to have all the puncture procs coming from the Latron. So interesting stuff there. The other ones too are pretty good, but that tier 3A is probably going to be the most enticing, especially with the synergy of tier 1A. Puncture proc gives you multi-shot, and then puncture proc removes enemy armor. The other choices for the top tier ones are increased headshot damage, which can stack nicely, of course, and then also increased crit chance and crit damage. So keeping that in mind, I'm probably just going to go for like multi-shot and crit stats on this thing. We've got 248,000 Kuva, and this thing has pretty good Riven, so let's get into it right now. I definitely am not going to need plus magazine size for what we're doing. Stash duration negative would probably be pretty bad, because I'm pretty sure we're going to have the puncture procs on them. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the puncture procs in the end. Also, this thing has about 66% crit chance with critical delay on, so I wouldn't mind putting on like some fire rate, some more crit chance. Status chance could... Nah, I never really go for Rivens or status chance, to be honest. I think I have like a couple of them, period, but like, really. Okay, we got double crit corpus. That's pretty good to start off with. Let's take a quick look at how high our crit chance would be. I'm going to keep rolling it, of course, but I just want to like give you guys a ballpark estimate of what kind of stats you could be looking at after rolling these things. So, not exactly the best Riven, but let's see if we get over 100. I don't think we'll probably be at like 80 or 90% with this Riven thrown on here. So just for the meantime, I'm going to take this stuff off. Okay, so we're at 97.9 crit chance and a 9.7 multiplier with no negative on our Riven. So this thing can actually hit really hard, it seems. Yeah, so you throw on some more multipliers and stuff there, that's going to be nasty. So, yeah, okay, cool. We're looking pretty good so far. Let's hope that we get something better than this, though. Relatively okay Riven. So yeah, if you had a negative, you could definitely be over 100% crit chance, no problem on this thing. And if you had a negative, you'd probably be over a 10x multiplier, too, which is just silly. Alright, looking pretty bad. So yeah, I could have swore they were supposed to announce the Duviri release date yesterday, but I feel like I might have misread their dev stream. Those dev streams are so misorganized. It's like, they'll say something really briefly, then like move on to something else, and then throw dates around like crazy. Minus reload speed would probably be terrible on this thing because it has 2.4 reload, I think. Yeah, 2.4, so... Honestly, looking for something like similar to what we got, but like maybe with some multi-shot. Ooh, that looks terrible. Zoom and puncture. I would definitely not recommend getting a plus puncture Riven on this thing. As you know, whatever puncture procs you get will be nice, but I definitely don't want to be modding specifically for it. Okay, so this will get us over 100% crit chance for sure, and to throw on some Toxin, which could be nice to save a mod slot if you're doing a viral build. But yeah, double crit is extremely nice. I mean, that was almost a 10x multiplier there. Let's hope we can get something better. Damage, crit chance, cold. Again, this could be pretty nice if we are... It doesn't give us a crit multiplier, though. This potentially could be good, giving us cold damage to throw on viral, giving us overall damage. It's another tri-stat with no negative, though, so I'm going to stick with this for now. Puncture procs definitely not great against Corpus, as, you know, they don't have any armor, and not like puncture procs even remove armor right now anyway. Puncture procs will only do this on the Latron, so yeah, let's hope that we get some multi-shot on here to get more puncture procs out. I can't believe I just said that. Alright, minus stash duration, pretty bad. Now, we've had a couple okay Rivens over the course of rolling this so far, but nothing I'd like even remotely regret not taking. Because like it's all been tri-stats with no negative. Like yeah, we've had a couple good crit chance rolls, but we already have a decent crit chance roll right here. Speaking of crit, multi-shot crit damage. I think I'm going to take this one for now. That's a good amount of multi-shot, 110%. But let's hope that we can get something better than that. And now we did pass up crit chance for this, so now we're sitting at 66% crit chance. Again, you know, Rivens are what they are. You can't choose what you get unless you buy it from somebody. That's only if someone actually rolled the one you want in the first place and is willing to sell it. Alright, come on, show me the good stuff. Show me the best of the best. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw this. I actually rolled like a really good Larkspur Riven the other day, but it's like, oh, come on. Dang it. Minus multi-shot ruins it all. As I'm talking about God roll ruins for crappy weapons. I got a damage double crit minus impact plus multi-shot roll for the Larkspur, and it's like, it's the Larkspur though. The Larkspur normal has better dispo than this thing. The Larkspur Prime got like a 2% crit chance buff. Yeah, no thanks. Alright, so we got about like 30 or 40k more Kuva on here. I can't say I'm exactly happy with this one. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. I might just buy a better one. You guys know how I am. I might just buy a better one later if I don't get anything better here. Puncture and Zoom is really bad. Like, that's extremely terrible. But yeah, I don't think I'd buy or get a plus Puncture Riven on this thing just because it just feels wrong to mod for it after all this time. I also don't think that we're going to need as many Puncture procs as we think. Like, remove 10% enemy armor per Puncture proc on them. Like, you know, it's like, if you have enough multi-shot, like you see with multi-shot here, we'll be able to put out multiple Puncture procs per bullet, no problem. Minus 99.5% damage. I wonder how much damage per bullet I would do with that. Like, 1 damage? Those shouldn't even be allowed. Reload speed and heat. No, thank you. But yeah, Latron ribbons actually are seeming a little bit more difficult to obtain right now than they used to be. Okay, so we have a negative on this one. We get 4% more multi-shot. Nice. I would have taken that minus Zoom one if I had some good crit stats with that multi-shot, but it did not. That's a lot of punch through. Wow, 4.4 meters of punch through. That pretty much shoots through walls, so. Don't immediately click away from punch through ribbons, guys, on weapons with high dispo like this. It could be like a mini Zenith, honestly. Shooting through things you weren't expecting to shoot through, like a door or whatever. Critical chance stash duration. Nope. So as far as good ribbons with negatives on this ribbon rolling session, I don't think we've really got anything that good. And we did just pass 100k Kuva, but I'm going to keep going just because this is a pretty boring looking ribbon. I want a little better than this. And yeah, borrow tomorrow, so I'll have a borrow review video tomorrow, guys. And I'm sorry I have 2 ribbon rolling videos in a week, but you know, this is some of the most exciting stuff for Duviri right now, just waiting for the update to come out. You know, trying to like min-max weapons before they're even released for the... Okay, so we got minus puncture on here, unfortunately. Minus 74.6. I don't think we can take that. That's a lot of our base damage removed. But that is a lot of crit damage. Wow, 211%, and then 4.7 meters of punch through. That is crazy. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it for sure, but we would pretty much never proc puncture, and we'd have like no base damage. We'd go down to like pretty much Soma Prime base damage numbers. Let's not do that. It just feels like the wrong thing to do there. But yeah, borrow video tomorrow, and there's really nothing going on in Warframe right now besides like Double Credit Weekend. The Double Credit Weekend will be here. As I get a minus crit damage Riven for talking about the Double Credit Weekend. I want to keep... This Riven feels like it has some luckiness. It's a lucky Riven, but not when I'm rolling it. So let's just keep rolling it until it's lucky again. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's kind of hard to, like, you know, be excited when they just don't... They basically keep us in the dark and just don't tell us anything. And it's like, I could have swore you were supposed to release information. It's like, oh, no, we're going to tell the Warframe partners behind the scenes. And, you know, of course, the stuff we tell the Warframe partners is not concrete at all either, so... No one even knows, including DE, when Duviri's coming out, it feels like. But they will definitely play around with your emotions every step of the way. Come on. Hey, critical damage and damage with minus Zoom. Okay, well, I mean, that's not a ton of damage, actually. 239 is an okay number. Let's look at those Incarnon options again real quick. So we can get multi-shot on puncture proc. You can also do increased headshot damage. We're at 66% crit chance with critical delay. This does have a negative. That's another like 60. That's another like 50% crit damage on here. I think I'm gonna take this one for now. Actually, it feels like the wrong thing to do because like that's a lot of multi-shot we're passing up on. But man. We'd be getting multi-shot from the Incarnon mode. I just want to take the minus Zoom, kind of. I'm at a loss here. That's a lot of multi-shot, too. 110%. This one has a negative. I'm going for this one. It's the wrong choice, but we're going to keep rolling anyway. We'll have to take a look at that crit multiplier. Critical chance, heat, multi-shot, minus corpus. It would feel kind of dumb not to take this one, because... I mean, it's got multi-shot and crit chance with minus corpus, though. And okay, so we got some interesting ones here. I'm not opposed to a minus corpus ribbon, especially if this thing will be meant for Grineer, as it has armor strip built in. I'm not entirely opposed to this, but the heat procs aren't really doing anything for me. I think I'm going to take this one. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this one. And then let's roll it like 2 or 3 more times. And hope that we get something a little bit better. Maybe with plus crit chance and crit damage with a negative. So yeah, kind of a roller coaster on this Riven. I don't really need a heat proc Riven on the Latron, but you know, the way I'm looking at it right now is like if we get puncture procs on them and remove all their armor, then a heat proc on top of that to like do damage over time after the armor's gone could maybe be kind of cool. Either way, I don't really know if it's like gonna be god roll at all. Especially, it definitely won't be god roll for Corpus. That's a lot of plus puncture because yeah, it has minus Corpus, so obviously would not be good against them. Okay, so I think that we're good. Let's roll it like 2 more times, even though I said it like 3 times already. Crit chance and zoom. No, and then let's look at what our crit chance is after this. So we get 102% multi-shot, 196% crit chance, and 118% heat. So we will really not be proccing as many puncture procs as you would hope, but we have a lot of multi-shot, and we have decent status chance on this thing already. So, you know, maybe it will be good. Punch through, crit damage, minus mag. Minus mag probably wouldn't be that good as it has a 15-round magazine anyway. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's a lot of minus Corpus, though. Let's try one more. One more. Puncture and cold with minus Grenadier. We can't end on that one. The actual last one for real this time. And then we'll look at the stats. Okay, cool. Nice one to end on, DE. Okay, so we ended up with crit chance, heat, multi-shot, minus Corpus. Not exactly my favorite stats, but I can see the synergy potentially being there. Our crit chance is 109% crit chance, and we've actually got viral heat on here somehow. Oh yeah, because I've got viral mods on here. So if we take those off, we are actually at 106 heat and 72 puncture. So I guess let's go to the simulacrum really quick and just take a quick look at how many procs we'll be getting with you know, a quick run through. I appreciate all the support you guys give to the channel too, guys. Really appreciate it. Reminder, it's not fully modded. I just want to see like how many puncture procs are we getting with this Riven that has a very high elemental weighting on it. Now, as far as other Rivens we could have stuck with along the way, we could have just stopped on that first crit chance, crit damage plus Corpus one, honestly. But, you know, I'd like to just roll a little bit more, get some... I do enjoy multi-shot, and we did pass up a crit damage multi-shot one with no negative for this. It's just for me, I want to see those higher stats, so I decided that was the right call. Alright, let's take a quick look at how many puncture procs we're getting with this high heat weighting. Okay, so we already got 2 puncture procs from 1 bullet there. So this enemy would basically already be dead. After the changes, this enemy would already be dead. Because all her armor would be gone, and she'd be getting heat proc damage over time, which is only 1685 right now. Let's throw on Nourish and see if we'd still be getting puncture procs. So yeah, you can still get some puncture procs even with terrible elemental weighting, so... I'd say as long as you're not going for minus puncture, you can still get a good amount of puncture procs and remove enemy armor, no problem. Yet reminder, this is with pretty much no buffs. So throw an Arcane Adapter on this thing, throw a full build, and yeah, gonna probably just one-shot those guys, no problem. Even before, yeah, this is missing 3 mod slots and had no Arcane. So yeah, pretty nasty. Hope you guys found this video fun and helpful. I'd say go get one of these if I were you. And then, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. See you on stream later tonight. Peace!